Hi everyone, welcome to Sneak Peek into Technology. This is Hannah from the Stark County District Library, and today we are going to be going over TinkerCad. So you can just go to tinkercad.com, and this is a software that allows you to make 3D designs that can then be printed out on a 3D printer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Create New Design. And I am just going to show you a couple of things that you can do with this software. So we're not going to make anything in particular, but this is your plane that you're going to be building your image on. And if you click the control button, you can drag this so you can take a look at your plane from any angle that you choose to do so. You can also go up here to the upper left-hand corner and maneuver it this way. And if you kind of get lost and you don't really know where you are, you just go to this home button and that will bring you back. So there are a bunch of different shapes you can use. I'm going to click the drop-down menu, but we're just going to be using basic shapes today. And when it is gray like this, the striped gray image, that is a hole, and I'll show you how to use those in a second. But for the time being, we are just going to use a box, and I am going to place that onto my plane by dragging and dropping. So you can maneuver the size of this image just by clicking the black squares and pulling it to the size that you want. You can also influence the height by using the white box. So you can pull it up or down. And then if you want to lift the image, you'll see this little black triangle, and that lifts it up from your pane. So that's especially useful if you want to put one shape on top of another. So I'll give you an example of that. So you can rotate it. That's a little bit trickier, but if you click on the image, you'll see this right here, the compass that goes around the image. And if you grab it just right, there we go, that little double arrow, you can change the angle. So let's let's do a cylinder. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to pull it over onto my work surface. And I'm going to put it on top of my square, and I'm going to use that little black triangle and I'm going to lift it up until it's on top. So if I click my control button and I maneuver my pane, you can see that it's not quite sitting on top of that image. So let's pull that down. So as of now, these are two different images. So when you connect it to your 3D printer, it's going to print out this circle, and then it's going to print, not the circle, the box, and then it's going to print out the cylinder. So you actually want to group those. So by dragging and dropping, you can select both images and you'll see that they'll both be outlined in blue. And you can come up here and you can click group. And now it changes it to one color, which means that it has been grouped, and you can move it around. It is now one image and it will be copied to be one image. And I'm going to select that again, and you can ungroup it by clicking this button right here. Okay, I'm going to change my angle a little bit. The next thing I want to show you how to do is how to create a hole. And to do a hole, we're actually going to take that triangle again, and we're going to drag that into the image. And you can see how deep it is. You can see that little dotted line. You can see how deep. And you typically don't want your image to go underneath the task pane, but when you're creating a hole, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to go from the top. So let's change our angle a bit. And I want to make sure it's pretty well centered. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then we want to select There we go. So we want to select that cylinder that's in the middle of the cube, and we're going to make it a hole right here. And then we'll select both by dragging and dropping, and we'll group it together, and look what happens. It makes a hole in the center of your image. So even if you don't have access to a 3D printer, this is a lot of fun because it allows you to practice design work. I had fun the other day just building a simple house out of the shapes. So this is something that can keep your kids busy. And then once we have our maker space open at the library, you can come in and you guys can actually print things out. So there are a lot of fun things that you can do with this program. I hope you enjoy, and check in next time for more sneak peeks.